Roy Orbison's name has long been synonymous with emotional ballads and ethereal vocals, but beneath the timeless songs that once echoed through jukeboxes and radios across the world lies a hidden saga so twisted and heartbreaking that it remained shrouded in secrecy for decades until now, as the truth behind Roy's haunting loneliness and peculiar personal life has finally surfaced, and it's far more disturbing than anyone imagined. While his legacy is anchored by chart toppers like Oh, Pretty Woman, In Dreams, and Crying, fans never fully grasped the deep psychological wounds that inform those sorrowful lyrics, and many chalked it up to the loss of his wife Claudette and 2 sons in the 60s. But those tragedies, while devastating, were only the tip of the iceberg in a life riddled with betrayal, industry manipulation, and unresolved trauma that Roy carried to his grave, and only recently, with the release of private journals and taped conversations from Roy's inner circle, have fans been given a glimpse into the true torment he endured, including a secret feud with Elvis Presley's handlers that nearly destroyed Roy's early career, as they reportedly felt threatened by his rising fame and orchestrated smear campaigns to minimize his exposure, including deliberately blocking him from radio play and television appearances in the late 50s, a move that left Roy reeling emotionally and financially, even contemplating walking away from music entirely before finding a second wind in the early 60s thanks to Monument Records. However, even as Roy enjoyed new hits, his personal insecurities, stemming from childhood bullying about his looks and social awkwardness, never left him, and his obsessive need for control over every aspect of his performances stemmed from a fear of rejection and abandonment that dated back to early family abandonment rumors, specifically whispers that the man he called father wasn't actually biologically related to him, a revelation that came out when Roy was already in his 20s, leading him to cut off contact with certain family members permanently, and this internal unraveling coincided with some of his darkest years, when after losing his sons in a fire, he withdrew completely from the public eye, later confessing in private letters that he had considered taking his own life and only stopped because of the birth of his youngest son, Wesley. But even in the years that followed, Orbison never fully recovered, and his smile in interviews was often forced. His return to the spotlight in the 80s bittersweet as his health rapidly declined, all while insiders around him pushed for relentless studio sessions and public appearances, hiding the fact that Roy was battling heart disease and signs of overwork. And perhaps the most unsettling revelation comes from newly surfaced legal records showing that Orbison, at the height of his fame, unknowingly signed away critical publishing rights in deals brokered behind his back, deals that funneled millions to others and left his estate with scraps, a betrayal that was discovered by his sons only after his death and has since been the subject of private litigation against major record labels and longtime collaborators who were assumed to be friends. And as the truth comes to light, the legacy of Roy Orbison becomes not just one of haunting melodies and a golden voice, but a tale of caution, a tragic warning about how even the most iconic artists can be consumed by the very industry that celebrated them, and how, in Roy's case, the real mystery wasn't just his unmistakable voice or dark demeanor, but the unspoken agony and betrayal that defined the life he never fully shared with the world.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.